All right, so we are looking at area and perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around a figure, which means, what are we doing to find it? We're adding all the sides. You just add them up, that's it. Area is the amount of surface a figure covers. To find area, I am doing length times width. That's how I find area. So, let's take a look. I've got a box here. The width, the W, is 7. I don't know what the length is, but I have been given the information that the perimeter is 36. So, step 1 in completing this is figuring out, okay, well, if this side is 7, this side is 7. Now I got to figure out what these two sides are. I know 36 is in all. So what should I do? What's my first step?
Add 7 plus 7.
Okay, so 7 plus 7 is 14. And now I'm going to...
Do 36 minus 14.
I'm going to subtract it from 36. So 36 minus 14. 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, now what am I doing? I'm dividing 22 by 2 because I have to have it on both sides. 22, what's 22 divided by 2? 11. So now I know that my length is 11. 11 up here, 11 down here. And now I've got my perimeter. 11 plus 11 plus 7 plus 7 is 36. But it wants me to figure out the area. So now, what am I doing? Alyssa? I'm doing 7 times 11. I'm doing my length times my width. So 11 times 7 is 77. There we go. So sometimes it's going to give you pieces of information that aren't going to really get you the answer, but it will get you steps to finding the next thing to help you then get the answer. So there's some steps involved. So if you look at number 1 in your book, for number 1 and 2, it says find the missing dimension or dimensions. Well, I've got my area. It says A equals 216, and you see how it's written inside the box. I know my area is 216. I know that my width is 8, but I don't know what the length is. And in here it's describing the length as X. So what I need to find, I know that area, A, equals length times width. And in this case, the width is a bigger X. I know that area is 216 equals what I don't know times 8. What's another way that I can do? What other math can I do to get what this blank number is supposed to be? What should I do when I'm given half of a multiplication sentence? How do I find that missing piece, Daniel?
216 divided by 8.
I need to divide. So, 2, 1, 6 divided by 8. 8 cannot go into 2, but it can go into 21. How many times? 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. 21 minus 16 is?
5.
Bring down that 6. 8 can go into 56. 7 times. I'm beyond the point where I feel the need to do my proof that 8 times 7 is 56 and 56 minus 56 is 0. We're beyond that now. We can leave it at this. So now I filled it in. 216 is 27 times 8. So X, or my length in this case, is 27. Ta-da! That's it. So for the next one in your book, it shows you a box or a rectangle. It's got Y and a Y, an X, and then 32. And then it's given me the information that the perimeter, P, is 94. So first off, I know perimeter is all of these sides added up together. So if this side is 32, then this side is 32. Same steps as what I've done before. I'm going to add 32 and 32 together. What's 32 plus 32?
64.
64. Now, what do I do?
64 minus 94.
94 minus 64, which is
30.
30. And now I'm going to
Divided by 2.
divide 30 in 2. I don't even need to write that one down. What's half of 30?
15.
15. So now I know that Y, or that my width, is 15. And I know that my length, or in this case X, is 32. So now I have solved the rest of these missing pieces. If I wanted to find the area, what would I do?
Multiply 30.
I would do 32 times 15. It's not asking me for the area, so I'm not going to give it. But if it were asking for it to find area, I would need to do 32 times 15. All right, number 3. This is a word problem. These can be tricky. I recommend you choosing if you feel the need to draw it out or just write down your information. If you're a more visual learner, you need to see it, then draw it. So for number 3, it says a sandbox is shaped like a rectangle. Its area is 48 square feet. So as you see here, I have drawn a rectangle. I wrote an A equals 48 inside. The side lengths are whole numbers. What are possible dimensions of this sandbox? Do all possible dimensions make sense? Explain. So in this case, I am basically needing to find out the fact families that I can make for 48. What are factors of 48? So 12 times 4. What else?
6 times 8.
6 times 8. What else?
48 times 1.
48 times 1.
2 times 24.
2 times 24. So all of these, you got more?
3 times 16.
3 times 16. So when it's asking, do all the possible dimensions make sense? You're talking about a rectangle, right? So that means one side is going to be quite longer than the other side, right?
Yeah.
So when I have something like 6 and 8, that's pretty close. People might look at that and kind of squint their eyes and go, is that a square or is that a rectangle? It's kind of hard to tell. That one might not make as much sense. 12 times 4 makes sense. 24 times 2, I mean, you'll have a really, really long, skinny rectangle. If you're talking about like a sidewalk, sure, that would make sense. But when you get a question like that, it's just asking you to come up with multiples or factors that would fit in. With number 4, it says the length of a garden is 25 feet. So you see I wrote here, L equals 25. I did not feel the need to draw for this one. What must the width of the garden be in a whole number of feet so the area is greater than 200 square feet but less than 300 square feet? Well, if length is 25 and area is length times width, I need to come up with a number that I can multiply by 25 to get something that is greater than 200 and less than 300. So 25 times
9.
9 would work. What's 25 times 9? You call it, you answer it.
225. Wait, no. Ooh, 2. Wait, no. Yeah. Got it.
Think about it in quarters. What you got?
225. Yeah.
225. So 225 would work. I could do it as 9. That would be 225. I could do 10, which is 250.
11.
I could do 11. 275. I just can't do 12, and I can't do 8. So again, it's just coming up with your multiplication facts. That's all it is. So what you're going to do now is you are going to answer the rest on your own, and then we'll go over it together. Okay?
Should we write like the whole problem out?